Hi, this is Mark Douglas with the See Within You Huber Astrological Psychosynthesis, and I want to give a bit of a quick breakdown actually to help clients and anyone interested in astrology to help kind of understand the different approaches to astrology and different kind of consultations you can request and ask for and seek out and so that you can get the services you're looking for. So first off is that astrology is one word, but there's like anything else in life from yoga to karate to, your favorite form of kind of pickle sandwich, many variations and ways of approaching it. So some of the big kind of pillars, if you will, to getting started with what you're looking for is to simply start from, well, what do I want? Okay, so ask yourself truly what you need is absolutely critical to the next kind of run through I'm going to give. Okay, so if you're looking for something really concrete and specific, like I want to know what is going on with my manager. Are they upset with me? Are they going to give me the raise? What does my work think of me at that level? And should I stay here? What's going on with my colleagues, etc., etc. That's going to be handled through Horary. So Horary is divination. You ask a question to the astrologer. At the time that you ask the question, the astrologer will cast a chart, and based on how the position of the planets are in the heavens and whatnot, we will be able to kind of deduce what's going on and give you a very valid answer. It's extremely effective for concrete things. So, will the house I'm about to buy be on good repair? What's the basement like? Will I like the neighbors? Is my application I put into the university going to be well received? Will I get into that school? Does he or she love me? When will I find my next romantic partner? Etc., etc., etc. Very concrete things. In a lot of cases, horary is absolutely the way to go because it's short and sweet, and the astrologer can definitely, if they know their stuff, if they're trained in proper horary techniques, can give you that answer. Now, the problem with that is that a lot of astrologers aren't trained in horary, so you really want to be able to ask that question. If you go to an astrologer that maybe just studies transits or a bit of a modern techniques and what have you, they're not going to be able to give you those concrete isms, if you will. You cannot get concrete predictive answers from transits or even progressions of that nature. So if you're looking for more of the next, that leads me into the forecasting. So some hot spots of the year, a bit of a rounded essence. So when are the kind of more intense periods, when are maybe some softer period, yada yada yada, that kind of thing. Then traditional time or timing techniques involving transits and what have you can be quite effective, right? So that's things of the astrologer can get in there, and pretty much anybody can get an app that can actually almost do it for you, right? And give you kind of the astrological weather. So it won't be concrete, but astrologer might fire up their software and say, oh, look at that. There's a Venus trine Jupiter in 2 months' time or whatever, and that hitting your natal chart. So that's a great time to look for love. So there's no assurances, but what they're doing is just kind of looking at the sky, saying, well, kind of like the idea of, well, you're traveling down on your big vacation trip, and the weather is going to be sunny for 5 days, and you've got a 5-star hotel that you're booked at. It's got really good reviews, type of thing. So there's no assurances that it's going to be a good trip because anything could happen. But you're saying, well, look at that. I mean, the weather and the kind of the conditions around it are good. That's what a transit type of general modern approach to a reading will give you. The next side of astrology would be looking at electionals, right? So electional comes from some root word that basically means to pick. So if we want to start a business or a marriage or any type of venture at that kind of level, you can ask the astrologer, I got this period over the next 4 or 5 months. What is a really, really good time for me to launch, etc. And there'll be considerations and restrictions around that, and it's a whole specialized technique as well too. But that's called electional astrology. When you want to actually start something, um, they'll actually create a birth chart based on what you're trying to pull off and work with you at that level. The last level is natal charts. Okay, so natal chart is what most people experience, and what most astrologers offer up. And there's a huge amount of differences within there as well too. Everything from evolutionary astrology to traditional approaches, modern approaches. I obviously teach and practice something called Huber, astrological psychosynthesis. It's extremely important to I don't want to say vet out, but seek a professional astrologer, and I would recommend going through the APAI, Astrological, the Association, of Professional Astrologers International, and there are others as well too. But just obviously, I'm a member of the APAI, and I sit on the council, so I can recommend that one. But if there are other organizations that can assure you of professional kind of accreditation and what have you, please go through them. But through the APAI, you're going to find professional astrologers, and you do want to kick the tires a little bit with picking one. And I'm definitely not going to be everybody's cup of tea. My approach is about understanding your deep seated needs and motivations, so you can take agency and move towards finding freedom in your life and what have you through psychosynthesis and the Gilt Age work done by the Hubers. But there are many other styles of astrology that are absolutely fantastic, and it's a Chevy versus Ford level, if you will. There are going to be better astrologers, and it's like anything, not so much the methodology sometimes they use, but also how they use it and how they show up professionally for you. So I wouldn't overthink it, but I wouldn't simply wake up on a Thursday and decide you want a birth chart reading that day without having any bearing. I would, choose wisely, ask questions, and see what the limitations of what they can provide and truly what you're looking for. Do I really, want a horary type of answer? Just a direct question like, I'm going to sue my lawyer, will I win type of thing. Like, I need to know these things. Then go and find a reputable horary astrologer for that. And again, like if you're looking for natal work, I would highly recommend a professional astrologer that you're not going to be sold down the river with causing a bunch of distress within you, because words make worlds, and depending on who you're kind of working with and what they're going to tell you can cause some major imbalances within you and have you walking away, maybe coming out worse than when you were. Or the other side of it is a hungry astrologer that simply wants to please you and tie everything up in a pretty bow. And the problem with that is I have other videos on this nature, but working in a hospital in spiritual care, there's a lot of situations that we're going to have negative outcomes, or that it simply won't end up being tied up in a pretty bow, and I can't affect that, right? And there is a major pull, and I think it's perhaps one of the most dangerous areas of astrology, is giving false hope and assurances, or to simply say, yes, everything will be a bit better in a few months, or to sugarcoat things, because you as a client deserve professional answers and integral responses and what have you. So hopefully the astrologers that you're seeking out will provide a level of assurances of what they can and can't do. And if you have any questions, I would definitely recommend going through professional organizations, or at least getting strong referrals and seeking the best astrologer for your needs. Good luck in your astrological consultations.